In this tutorial, I shared 2 important tricks you need to know when you are cutting your off-shoulder bustier, and in case you want your bustier to have a perfect cup like mine, you need to keep on watching this video. I am Blessing Banjo. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's dive right into today's tutorial.
My pattern paper is 21 inches like this by 17 inches. So how did I get it 17 inches? Looking at the measurement which is on the screen right now, the highest round measurement is my bust. My bust is 37, and then I divided it into 2. We have 18.5, and then I added 2.5 inches to it, and that's 21 inches. So I divided it into 2, and we have 10.5 here, which will be the front, and 10.5 here, which will be the back. And my highest vertical measurement is 16.5, which is my half length, 16.5. So what I'll be doing now is this: I'll be cutting it into 2. So what will be the front? So let me write it. This will be the front, and this will be the back. Yeah, I've been able to draw the lines, and let me take you through. This is the starting line, and then this is the chest line, CL. And how did I get this? I divided my bust by 6, and I added 1.5. After adding 1.5, then I added the shoulder slant, which is 1 inch. So bust divided by 6 plus 1.5, that's the formula. So after getting that, then I added 1 inch, which serves as my shoulder slant. So my bust is 37 divided by 6 plus 1.5 is 7.65, and then I added 1 inch shoulder slant to hit, that's 8.75. So I measured 8.75 from here, and then we have it. So we have 8.75, and then this is my bust point line, and my bust point is 10.5, and this is my waistline, which is 16.5. So going into the measurement now, my shoulder is 7.5. I'll mark that down, 7.5. For the front, please do what works for you. I usually slant my shoulder by 1.5, and it works fine for me. That's for the front. And the reason why I do 1.5 is because my front is actually more slanted than the back. So I do 1.5 for the front, and I do 1 for the back. I'll mark 1.5 here. I'll come to my neck width, I'll mark it, and then connect it to my 1.5. The next thing I'll do now is to mark my bust measurement. My bust measurement is 37 divided by 4. We have 9.25. I'll mark that. I'll come to my waistline. My waist is 29 divided by 4. We have 7.25. I'll mark that. So I'll be taking 1.5 inch do that, and then connect together from here to here. Please, I hope you got that. I'll then come here. Remember, the armhole depth that we got is 7.75. So I'll divide it into 2. I'll divide 7.75 into 2, and that gives me 3.875. Come here and mark 3.875, which is here. So for the front, the across front is 0.5. I'm using 0.5, and the reason why I'm using 0.5 is because the front is usually deeper than the back. So I've marked the 0.5. So I'll come here, I'll connect it like so, and then I'll come here and take the dart. So the bust span is 8, divided by 2 we have 4. So I'll come down and mark 4. The next step now is to connect together. So we'll be taking 0.75 on both sides. And then we connect. Remember, we added 1.5 inches to the waist dart, so that's why we are taking 0.75 on both sides, which will have 1.5. So after doing that, we come and take the bust dart. We are using the bust dart technique, and the bust dart, you get it by subtracting your back half length from your front half length. My front half length is 16.5 and my back half length is 15 inches, so we have 1.5 inches. So you can actually take this on your client by taking 2 measuring tapes, put one around the waist of your client, and then use one to take the measurement from your shoulder to the waist for the front on where that measuring tape is, and then shoulder to the waist for the back where the measuring tape is. Or if you can't do this, what I usually do is this: I use either 1.5 or 1 inch depending on how busty my client is. So that's what I do. Now that we're done with this, the next step now is to mark the starting point, and I want to teach you something that works for me. It works for me. So you have to note that if you want your sleeve to fall, it means your starting point must be deep, just like the sleeve in the screen right now. But if you don't want your sleeve to fall, then you would have to go higher. So let's say you want your sleeve to fall, you might have to use 6 inches starting point. If you don't want your sleeve to fall, then you have to go higher. So you might use even 3 inches, you might use 4 inches, especially those styles that the sleeves are always around the highest tip of the shoulder. I hope you understand this tip, and I hope I'm able to express myself well. So this time around, most times I don't always want a falling sleeve, so I use 4 inches because of my height. So this is also dependent on the height of the person you are working with. The next step is to take the shoulder dart. And how do you take the shoulder dart? You come here to your slope, then to your shoulder slope, you mark it, you measure what you have here, and you mark the midpoint, and you connect it to your bust point line. So here I have it. Then let's mark the under bust. The under bust is 13.5. So after marking, I'll tighten the over bust. 0.75 works for me. That's 1.5. The next step I'll be doing now is to connect it here. So I'll connect it back to my bust point. Now I'll mark my neckline there. I'll be going in by 1.75, and I'll be doing a sweetheart neckline. So I need to measure that you need to take your strap to strap measurement. Taking your off shoulder width, the wider it is also determines how the sleeve would fall. So most times I love using 4.5. So here we have 4. It means I need, okay, let me make it 4.75. So let me add just 0.75. How did I get that? I came here, I have 4. Remember this dart here, we are cutting it out. We are cutting this hat there. Yeah, please take note. So it means I have to mark here. I have 4 inches, and then I'll mark 0.75 from here. So then we create a new armhole. Actually, this is okay by me, and you can even decide to say, okay, I'm going to make it start from here, just like we did, and it will end here. So did you see that? So you can even say you do it this way. We have different necklines. You can say you want it to go inside this way. So what you do is this: you measure what you have and did that. This is 4.85. So I'll come here also and mark that 4.85. Very important. If I don't do this, this place will be shorter than this place. So I'll just come here and mark 4.85. So this is it. So after drawing this new line, I'll then extend it. Now coming to the under bust, here I'll mark 0.5. In case you're interested in knowing how to accurately tighten your under bust, please check the link in the description box. Now come here, I'll mark 1.25. Please note that it's not going to affect whatever measurement we have here. So what I'll do next is to just mark. So after doing that, at my waistline here, I would mark, I'll come out by 0.5. So then I'll come here, mark, return it back. Remember, we've marked 0.5, so I have to return back the 0.5. So what I'll do is to connect here, I'll connect it back here. So after doing this, let's move to the back. On the back also, my back half length is 15 inches. Remember, my front is 16.5. Front is 16.5. So the next thing I'll be doing now is let's mark the shoulder. 15 divided by 2, that's 7.5. After marking this, we'll mark the shoulder slant of 1 inch. The standard neck width is 3. So after connecting, I'll come here and do my back tightening. And the reason why I have to do this back tightening is to ensure that there will be no zipper bulge at the back. So I'll do 0.75. I'll mark 3 inches like so. Sorry, I realized that instead of this is supposed to be 8.75, but I realized I marked 8.25, so I had to use this pencil. So this is the chest line. So this line does not have any meaning. Please take note. This is the chest line. So let's take the measurement. The bust is 37, that's 9.25. And when I'm taking my measurement, please take note that it is from this line. So I'll mark that 9.25. The waist is 29, that is 7.25. And then I'm taking that of 1.5. So for the dart now, bust span is 8 divided by 2, we have 4. I always take my dart from the tightened line, so we have 4. So I'll mark 4.75 here also, because I measured what I have here, that's 4.75. I'm taking 0.75 on both sides, that'll be 1.5. So let's mark the across back. Divide my armhole depth, 7.75 by 2, we have 3.875. So I'll mark it here. I'll take in 0.25. So after marking this, I would connect to my chest line. So after marking this, I would then mark the starting point. I'll be marking 4 inches. So I'll mark what I have here, my shoulder, just like we did for the front. Divide it into 2, then connect or tighten it by 0.25 on both sides. Then we'll now mark the strap to strap measurement. So marking 4.75 from here now, you will see that it takes about 0.125 for it to get to 4.75. So I'll mark that here, which I've done. I'll take my curve and then connect it back. So you can even decide not to put a dart here. You can just leave it like this and then sew it straight up like you sew your dart. So from here now, 5.5. For the front now, I am thinking of changing the neckline. I think I want to do a V neckline now. So I've been able to correct the neckline for the front because I don't want this neckline again. So this is the center back, this is side back, this is the center front, and which is on fold and front. I need to close this area. So you can see how I've folded it and then I'll place it here. Use this to hold it down. After closing this, then you see that when I closed it, this line shifted inside. So what I'll do is this. Can you see that? After doing this, I'll continue cutting. Once we put the side front and side back, this is the side front and this is the side back. Once we put them together, it will definitely align. After closing the bust dart, it would align. So let's place it on fabric and cut. I have pinned my pattern to my fabric and you can see I used 1.5 as the sewing allowance.